Hello, everybody. Welcome to Feedback for the week of March 19th, 2012. Big show today. We're going to talk about EA servers and how they've taken everything that you loved about games and stolen them from you. And we're also going to talk about MMOs like Warcraft and, well, pretty much we're going to talk about Warcraft. Joining me today, Nicole. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Back from his robber baron days.
That's right.
Mr. Steven Johnson is with us as well. Yay.
Woo!
Yes. And because she's contractually obligated to do something other than X-Play once a month, Morgan Webb is here as well.
And I'm not happy about it, so let's get this going.
Let's move on. Let's move on to this. All right, guys, before we start, quick 10 words or less. Again, we just told everyone what the topic was about 5 minutes ago, so the answers will probably suck. But I will start. 10 words or less. Favorite video game sidekick? Domino's Pizza Delivery Guy. Because he's with me every single marathon video game session I have. Nicole, what about you?
She can carry my eggs anytime. Kazooie.
I like to take Quaaludes when I play games.
Quaaludes is one word. Silly, you have one more to go.
Pick a sidekick.
Steven Johnson is the last American Quaalude, ladies and gentlemen. Morgan.
I like to watch Steven Johnson take Quaaludes.
Syllables.
I like it
We
as
kind
well.
of missed the point of this, but I liked it anyway.
I think we made a new point, and
Yeah.
it's far more entertaining than the point that we initially
Ancient
had.
Quaaludes.
drugs are your sidekicks when you play drugs.
Quaaludes are my sidekicks. Also, it's 10 words or less, so I could do 9 words.
That's very
Totally.
true.
Good point.
That's very true.
But you didn't get hit an actual sidekick, so we were hoping that, like...
I was put on the spot.
No, I know. I know.
And,
I liked
you know, we
it.
don't know. I mean, we work with Steven, and he's a pretty jovial guy around the office, but there is a certain darkness behind his eyes. We don't know what his life is like outside of the office, so, dude, if you need to take those, go right ahead. Nobody's judging you.
Constant
Where do
pain.
you get those?
Yeah.
1973?
I go
Steven's
back.
got a time machine.
I go back to the mid 70s, and I hook up with some of my connections back there. We go see some Bachman Turner Overdrive shows, and we take some loots. It's
BTO's pretty
it's all
choice.
pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Good for you.
Do you enter through the time warp? Do you enter an apartment that has carpeted walls?
Yes, with that green shag, it's beautiful. That was called decorating.
Who was at your last key party?
I have a special key party. My wife and I invite people over, and everybody
You
puts.
should have just let that one go, man.
No.
Just, like, drop that one.
Where's Morgan's cough button? Steven, please continue.
Okay, everybody that comes over, all the guests we invite, put their car keys in a bowl, and then we steal everybody's car.
I like it.
That's how we do it.
Because they're all high on lewds, man.
Right, exactly.
And they don't know what's going
Everybody's
on.
all messed up on lewds, and then we steal their cars.
That story ended a little differently than I thought it would, but I do appreciate that it ended that way because the
explains
visual
deep, dark
that
place that Steve comes from.
All right. This went nowhere real fast. I think we
Sorry,
should jump
everybody.
back on the actual video game talk.
I apologize.
It's like I've
will do
taken
that.
almost 5 beers to the head right now. So, kids at home, that's pretty much what a Quaalude is, according to the internet.
Don't do drugs.
And Frank Meyer.
Seriously, don't do Quaaludes.
And if you take a time machine, to the past, don't waste it on Quaaludes.
Yeah, Coke was way better back then. Yeah.
Back in the 70s.
Again, Wikipedia. Nicole,
Yeah.
you have actual real video
Yeah,
game news
yeah.
that we need to talk about
Yeah,
here.
I'm gonna bring you guys down. This news is a downer.
All right.
See,
All
what,
right.
see what I'm doing?
You're like the end of Steven's key party right now.
EA is closing down a bunch of servers for 14 games. They announced this yesterday that on March 31st, 3 games will be taken off. They will lose multiplayer. They will lose all compatibility with online passes. Whether or not you actually forked over money to buy an online pass, don't matter. And then on April 13th, the rest of the 14 games get taken down. So games like The Saboteur, which have no online component, are going to lose access to DLC because you can't log into the EA servers. Games like Burnout Revenge, you just can't play multiplayer. And game like Spare Parts only came out this past January. So it's definitely a controversial thing, at least among us. I think that in the office, we all kind of were like, wow, this is kind of surprising. Even more surprising than that, no public outcry about this.
Right.
Even on this article, there are people complaining about Mass Effect's ending.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely came. EA took they picked the perfect moment to start to cut out games
maybe the
that
whole
people.
thing was a conspiracy.
Yeah, maybe so. There's some emotion involved. We obviously had a meeting
Absolutely.
about this yesterday, and we were all a little upset. One of the things I know that really pissed me off the most. I mean, look, I get it. It's a business, and if they don't have enough people kind of playing, and we don't know what the numbers are, but if they don't have enough people playing, I guess maybe I can understand shutting down certain things. But Steve, since you took the most umbrage to this, the quote that EA had in regards to this just made me feel like they whipped it out and just started peeing all over the faces of everybody that spent money on their games.
It's true.
This quote is ridiculous.
Here's the quote. It's the snottiest thing. We would rather our hardworking engineers and IT staff focus on keeping a positive experience for the other 99% of customers playing our more popular games.
Occupy Redwood Shores, dude.
Exactly. So screw you if you like Boombox.
Okay,
Which a lot of people do.
Yes.
Boombox Blast.
Boombox Bash Party. I was a little upset about that. Fantasy Safari. I was less upset about. I have to say. I also learned that there's a game called Fantasy
I
Safari.
wish I knew. I wish I knew because I feel like if there's a target audience for Fantasy Safari, she's
was
sitting right
you.
here.
Ghost Harvest for the iPhone. How am I
can't
going to
even
harvest
spell.
ghosts now?
Okay, but what actually really bothers me is that if you have purchased the DLC, they can't have a server up that you just ping it and it says, yes, you have the DLC. Like, you can't do that, or you can't make the DLC just available. Like, there's nothing else you can do other than just shut that off. I don't understand that.
And there's no warning. Like, what words of warning did they give customers when they bought these games? When you bought FIFA 10, did you know that in 2 years you couldn't play it? When
Right.
you bought MMA last October or 2 Octobers ago, did you know that even though you paid for an online pass, that you would not be able to use it at one point within 2 years? Like, anytime I want to play an old game, I can play any old game I had, and I feel like I've everything I've paid for has been worth it because I can go back to it. And these games you can't go back to, and there was no warning for it, and I just don't understand how that's okay.
I mean, I think people are going to take a look at this list because I'm sure we'll probably put it up on the website so people can take a look at the full list. And I'm sure people are going to take a look at the list and go, whatever, I don't really care about those games. But what
it's a
you need to
slippery
understand is that this sets a precedent now where EA can at any time say, you know what, the online community for FIFA 11, now that it's 2013, isn't as robust as we want it to be, so let's just shut down the servers completely. That's kind of the way that I'm definitely reading into this, but the fact that there is no warning, and I'm not saying it's like, that chick that sued McDonald's because the coffee was really hot and there wasn't a label that said, hey, coffee's hot, and she won millions of dollars. I'm not saying they need to put a label on games that say, at some point we may remove online functionality from this game, but I'm
I
saying
think
that
they
people should be more
I think
aware.
they should too, actually.
Yeah.
Because
Really
if
think
you're
that-
in the store, you're buying a game and it doesn't say anywhere on there like online functionality may be disabled at a certain point. You just assume that you have online functionality.
If you're going to take away part of my game, then give me back some of the money I paid for it.
That's never going to happen.
I know.
Well, that's one of the
I'm an
things.
idealist.
That's definitely one of the things that we brought up immediately in the meeting was like, I think this, and again, there's not much outcry, and I think there should be, but by just saying, look, we understand that maybe people aren't playing Boombox Bash Party or whatever as much as people would like. But those people that have, this has been taken from them, let's give them a $10 credit towards something. Or like they've offered nothing. They're just like, sorry, our hardworking IT staff and engineering would rather care about other
What
games.
you'd rather
I
do.
know, yeah.
Well, like, what about? I mean, this is a total hypothetical, but what if Activision followed suit and took off the servers for an old Call of Duty game, so you'd have to go buy the new one? Like, that's
You're really putting that past Activision?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
You don't
that's
think that they're
totally
gonna
You just gave
plausible.
them the best idea of all time.
Say.
It
Kotick's
could
like,
absolutely happen.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna get everyone in a fever pitch about Mass Effect for some reason. They'll be like, they're gonna change the ending, and then everyone's gonna shut down all their servers.
yeah.
It's a brilliant decoy.
I mean,
Scapegoat.
Steve, do you see because I keep bringing up the McDonald's thing, but like that woman won millions and millions of dollars. Do you see a lawsuit potentially happening?
I could see a lawsuit because some of these were pretty big games that sold relatively well, like FIFA 10 and The Godfather 2,
Burnout.
and that's a lot of people. And if some enterprising lawyer wanted to look into the, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody looked into the legal aspects of, well, can you just take away part of the service that people paid for with their games?
Are they selling these new? I wonder if you could walk into a retail store and buy Boom Blocks new.
I'm sure you could. I mean, there has to. I mean, maybe at
There's
a
got to be
GameStop.
some left over, right?
Yeah.
Well,
and
saw-
also, like, if you bought the online pass, like
Which
if
you
you
could
bought
for
it
MMA.
used, and right, like you bought the online pass for MMA, you paid $10 for the online that
Doesn't exist.
isn't going to work
Sure.
after a month or so. So, like, for used people with used games, it's
Hopefully
terrible.
they warn you. I bet they don't, though.
I don't know.
I'm assuming the employee at GameStop that is more concerned about when his Jamba Juice break is going to occur and less about whether or not you know that $10 pass is going to be available to you. They don't really care. But yeah, we Nicole and I are on this email group, and this guy yesterday was like, "Hey guys, just so you know, Saboteur is on sale at Best Buy for $15 right now. I picked it up. I'm so excited." And I wanted to write back and go,
Bad news.
"Yeah, I don't want to be the harbinger of doom here, but so clearly people don't know. They're celebrating the fact that like it's weird. Like now and I didn't ask him how he found Saboteur, but it almost sounded like Best Buy was like, "Hey, check it out.
Right.
These great games are on sale right now," knowing full well that it's going to be a useless piece of shit. Like what? I'm a little confused about their marketing on this.
Well, Saboteur is a little different because, I mean, there is no online, and it's just that...
But there is DLC.
There's DLC that you won't be able to buy.
Right.
Or access.
The
You won't be able to
access thing is
access the
weird,
Midnight
man.
Club.
It is weird.
Yeah, what is
That's
the
why-
loss of the
yeah.
Midnight Club access? I see that on here. What does that mean exactly?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have it, but from what I've read, it's just DLC that because you can't authenticate your EA account, you can't access. Like
But
every
it's
time you
so
log in,
weird. Like, how hard is it to authenticate an account, right?
there should be like one giant EA server that's only purpose is to allow you to update your game.
Yes.
Regardless of multiplayer or anything like that.
But like they don't even maybe they don't even sell you. Maybe they say we're not going to sell any new DLC. But if you bought it, just ping the thing. How
It can't be that hard. But
they
I mean,
have a hardworking staff of IT
IT
and
engineers.
engineering
things to do,
professionals.
I guess. But like every time you log into Mass Effect, before you can do anything, it's checking EA servers, connecting to EA servers, and if you're on the PC, that takes like 15 minutes sometimes.
What about if EA goes out of business? Then what will happen?
Activision will make more money somehow because they're always poised to reap
They're
the benefits
ready.
of somebody else's failure.
And
I mean,
one day they'll shut off Mass Effect 2, and we'll have
I
the.
mean,
And
it's
who's going to be
possible.
disappointed by the ending then?
what about the Shadow Broker? Who is this person? I don't know. You talk about a Mass Effect 3, but I couldn't get it a Mass Effect 2. I'm so confused.
It's Liara.
Dude,
Sorry.
spoiler.
Sorry.
Spoiler.
You've had like 2.5 years though to figure that one out. So
So do you think that this is like stuff like this is going to actually kind of deter people from buying online passes?
it has to. How can it not? I mean, they're trying to convince gamers that I know they're trying to prevent used game sales, but they're trying to convince gamers that they're going to get the best multiplayer and online experience if they buy an online pass, and then to turn around and cancel it and basically make your purchase void. Like it's such bad business practice.
I think that you're giving the average gamer a little bit too much credit because
think
they're
so,
not
I
too.
hear
going
that so much. I really do. Like every time I make an argument, they're like, "Nicole, you think way too highly of people," and I'm like,
No, it's not highly of people. I think that since we talk about games all day and read about games all day, we assume that everybody else is as educated about the game industry as we are. And they're just not. I mean, people are busy. They do other things. They don't sit. They're playing games rather than reading about it. And I think people are going to miss this until they log into their own favorite game and it's like cannot connect. And they're like,
Yeah, I think once
Yeah.
this list is a little more, I'm not even saying AAA titles, but when we start seeing more of the bigger titles, maybe not something that's 2 years out, maybe they start cutting DLC and online functionality a year out from an actual game's launch. I mean, if EA, I feel like if nobody says anything, EA is going to take that as like we should do this more often.
keep going. Yeah.
You know, but I just don't understand from therein what kind of money does this save them? I just can't imagine it's hard to maintain the Godfather 2's on PlayStation 3's online functionality. Like,
Right.
how hard is it to maintain that? I just
yeah.
And what
Just
is
hire
JP
one guy.
gonna do?
Yeah. You know?
EA Sports Active, without EA Sports Active, JP is going to get super fat.
EA Sports Active just came out like when? Not too long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago, and I bought it. I don't know where it is anymore, but I totally purchased
How'd it work?
Here's the thing, though. You'll never do yoga again with your friends online. I didn't play it online. Is that what happens with the online stuff? You don't know either.
You didn't turn it on,
Wow.
did you?
I know. I actually never
We
played it.
basically just
You put it
made
under your
EA's argument
pillow.
for them.
I know, exactly.
We literally just told
But that's
EA,
'cause
you know
I
what, you're
lost
right,
it.
gamers are dumb. And but I think we
Lost it.
can all agree, like, this is just a bad move, and I hope that other publishers don't take a look at this and go,
I hope
we should do
gamers
more
start
of
to
this.
care because they really. I read the comment section on our blog. I read on Game Politics. I read on several other blogs that covered the story.
Mm-hmm.
None of the commenters cared.
People are going to care when it's a game that they play, when it's like Gears 1 or something like
That's
that.
right.
Which I would care because
I mean, is
we
that
have
what it's gonna
retro
take?
gaming nights.
Is it going to take, it's First of all, it's ridiculous that Gears 1 would be a retro gaming night.
That is a good point.
Child. No, but God damn it, it's not retro, man. That's not retro. Pong is retro.
I swear.
Pong is retro. Gears 1's not retro, for the love of God. But I think that's what it's going to take, right? A AAA title. Like, it's going to take something that people still, on occasion, play.
Yeah. And it's going to take people with loud voices.
Or like to think that they're going to play. I always think that I'm going to play these games, and like I don't.
Yeah.
They're on my shelf.
Yeah, have you guys like recently gone through your game collection with the idea that you're going to just sell your used games or donate them, and then you're like, no, probably I could potentially get back into Crackdown 1 at some point in the near future.
It's not gonna happen.
One
just
of
wanna have
mine
an
was
option.
Godfather 2. Like
No,
I
it's
have
too late
Godfather
now,
2.
buddy.
It's sitting in my shelf, and I've
Too
never,
bad.
I've never
You
played
have
it.
until April
and
13th.
I should start because it's time.
Sorry, Steve.
You
Your
let
life
go.
is about to end, my friend.
Also, spare parts. I've never heard of that before.
And now you never will.
There were a couple on this list where I'm like, that was a game?
Really?
Well, Fantasy Safari with an I on the end is just like so precious. I want to claw my eyes out. And
It was a
Ghost
game.
Harvest, have not also heard of that game.
Ghost
'Cause
Harvest.
Don't
Wait.
have an iPhone.
You harvest ghosts.
That does not sound.
I
that
don't
fun.
know
It's like
why.
Ghostville.
Is it like
You know what,
Harvest
actually-
Moon? Because I would be into that.
I would
Or is
say
it more like
nice
Farmville?
job on that, EA. Ghost Harvest, probably a good idea to shut that one down.
The kids love harvesting ghosts.
Yeah, it's their favorite thing to do on Ludes. All right, let's move on to a game that that people actually do know about. We'll start with kind of the Warcraft news. I know that you actually had a really close look at the new stuff that they're going to be rolling out, but and then we'll talk about MMOs in general. But Steve, why don't you take the lead on this and talk a little bit about
The Mists
of
Pandaria. The newest World of Warcraft expansion brings us some new gameplay elements and also new kinds of characters, which are sort of personified panda bears. And new
They're actually
gameplay.
pretty cute.
Are they?
I
Well,
was
you-
not sold on at first. I was like, oh, they're going to be adorable and stupid, but I have to say I find them kind of charming.
Morgan has seen the game.
Yes,
she has
yes,
played
I
it.
have seen it. I have played it.
Okay. Let's hear about the pandas. What do you think of the pandas?
your thoughts?
They're pretty cute. Okay, so
Cute.
not like a cutesy person, but we have a red panda or a black panda, like a black and white panda, and the red pandas have these kind of fluffy like foxtails in the end, and they're pretty cute. And the girl pandas, they're kind of like chunky, and they drink a lot of beer, and they do like magic warrior dancing. It's pretty cool.
So kung fu pandas.
They are kung fu. They are actually. That's unfortunate. They totally are kung fu pandas, though.
But
They are.
the pandas were in the Pandarian were in the World of Warcraft universe
Right.
before Kung Fu Panda.
Right, that is true.
So
that is
really,
true.
they capitalized on that.
But they do like the drunken battle dance thing.
You know how I know that you really do think that they're cute? The fact that the female version is fat and you do not take offense to that means that they're really adorable. Because normally be like, oh, the dude's all fit and svelte and really like handsome, and then the chick's a drunk fatty, and that's normally the door that opens, and then you just barge into the room and scream a bunch.
I don't like when the women are like so thin that it's just creepy that they couldn't actually stand up, and then they have huge boobs, and then the things like cut down to their navel.
Yeah,
like
that
most of the
sucks.
Warcraft
That sucks like
characters.
the worst.
Yeah, that's the
ever.
worst.
I
I
really,
hate that.
I was kind of, a part of me was hoping that they made a sexy panda, and just to see what they would, what would be a
The
sexy
part of
panda.
you that has to stay away from zoos during children's birthday parties. That part of you.
we're not allowed to talk about that, Blair. I'm sorry.
Sexy pandas.
I
is not.
thought
They're
that
not-
the
they're not
female
sexy.
panda model looked like a person in a panda suit.
Yeah,
to
a
me,
little
like
bit.
not like a.
And they
like
have
a,
like chipmunk cheeks.
yeah, it's really
Do
cute.
they play like any other WoW character though? Are they any slower because they're fat?
No.
Okay.
They're just like
No, because
normal.
everybody knows that if you're drunk, you're more powerful than anything else. So
That's
they
right.
must be faster
That's
and
right.
stronger.
That's right.
But you actually got to see the gameplay, and Nicole does bring up a good point. It's not like they're just reskinning other character classes. Like it does play differently. I mean, to an extent, does it not? Am I wrong here?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no,
My
no,
expectations
no.
have been shattered.
I mean,
no?
okay, here's the thing. Is like we've all played a lot of Warcraft. I don't know if you played a lot of Warcraft.
have, yeah.
Okay, so we've all played a lot of Warcraft. You kind of know what you're getting. Is it going to be incredibly like crazy different than other characters? No, it's not going to be. They have a really beautiful world. I really liked it. Is
Is it
like,
Misty?
It's not misty.
What?
The areas that I were not misty. I did not see any misty areas. But I think I'm totally gonna be wrong on this, so don't actually quote me. I think what it is that you're on the turtle, and the turtle is like surrounded by mist, and then once you hit level 10, you get off of the turtle, and then you go out into like the main area.
Wait, is it? It's like a Discworld, like a Terry Pratchett thing. You're actually like a
You're on a
turtle is the
giant
world.
turtle.
Okay.
Like
And
in
then-
Majora's Mask?
Yeah.
And then so something happens to the turtle, so you got to figure out what happens to the turtle, and then at level 10, you like go out into the wider world.
Okay.
That
So I
sound
think
adorable.
That's the mist part, but I'm
Well, there's
totally
also
wrong.
A pet. What's a pet called? A cloud serpent. So I read that as you do daily quests, the cloud serpent levels up and goes from a little serpent to like a giant dragon.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. So there's this is like a whole separate thing. So you know how you would do rep quests before
Right.
and sort of get reputation with factions, and all it really happened was you got like a little bar that went up. Now, like different factions will have different things. So maybe one is going to be like a farm where you can, like as you get reputation with that faction, like your farm can grow and you can get like herbs and stuff like that. And then one of the sort of faction things is you get this egg. And then as you get reputation with that faction, like you can grow and you can like train it. And then in the end, you get to ride it because it's a flying mount.
Oh, I love that.
And it's like
part.
Falcor.
Yeah.
That kind
And
of
it's
made
a
me
pet,
think, though,
which is great.
about like Facebook style games. You know what I'm saying? Where you do something every day, and then every day your city gets a little
It
bit
was
better.
harvesting and fishing
that's what I'm saying.
and pet battles.
I mean, it's interesting that you brought that up because, as Nicole said, that farming will allow players to harvest materials, which is Farmville. I mean, it sounds like
Exactly.
they are implementing. Did you find
It's
that?
not Farmville, it's Harvest Moon, which was before Farmville.
Sorry about
Farmville
that.
is totally a ripoff of the classic farming sim genre, which apparently you are not an aficionado of.
I was not.
You
but,
must be super embarrassed right now, Blair.
I
know,
mean,
right?
words cannot describe. Edit all of that part out where I seemed like an idiot and didn't know about Harvest Moon. But this, it seems to me, I think what Blizzard does really well is they recognize kind of other things that people like to dabble in and waste time with. And because I forget what expansion it was, but Peggle. Remember when Peggle was included in Warcraft?
Yes.
In some expansion, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I can play
hate
Peggle while I do
so
this.
much.
But I
God,
like
it's the
games of
worst game.
chance because I don't have to have skill to be good at it, maybe. So, but it seems like they're taking a look at these things and
Peggle.
saying, this is what works in social networking, and they're implementing
And
this.
I think there's also room for those type of applications to be applied to a WoW app, which hasn't been confirmed or announced. But in an interview we covered on G4 yesterday, Blizzard is working on bringing World of Warcraft to the iOS, and they're not at the point where they can.
They're thinking about it, to be fair. I mean, they said that
Absolutely.
they're considering it.
They said they're working. That as soon as that technology's there, we'll know. And but in the meantime, he said that functionalities that are in Mists of Pandaria would make sense as an app.
Okay.
Nothing's been announced, but they'd make sense. And I could see that if I could harvest for my character while I'm on the way to work, at a red light, which is not allowed in the state of California.
It is not.
No.
That's amazing though, to be able to level up small tasks while you're in an MMO.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And two of the things also that they showed 2 new dungeons. And at this point, we've seen a lot of dungeons in Warcraft. So were these different? How did you feel about these? Did they feel like new additions, or they feel like, oh, now we've got adorable panda skins on dungeons we've already played? Yes? The answer is yes. to
Temple
that?
of the Jade
You know
Serpent
what?
wasn't awesome.
They look so cool.
Temple of the Jade
I
Serpent.
know.
You're in a brewery in one.
You fight alcohol.
There's beer being made.
You
fight
fight
All right, you guys.
alcohol.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a. Don't get me wrong. I love Warcraft, but sometimes it's hard to get the juices flowing about it. But
The
you guys are
alcohol
excited.
flowing.
Okay, so go ahead.
Look,
Talk about how amazing it is. And convince me.
I didn't play it, unlike you. I just saw it.
Okay.
On the videos on G4TV.com, and
An excellent website.
an excellent
It's
website
the
for
most
all your
trusted video
gaming
game
news.
website.
Yes, really.
Yes.
Okay. And I love the way that the dungeons are styled. Like I love the way Blizzard takes that cartoonish look that has always defined World of Warcraft and adds like an Eastern flair to it, sort of a Chinese
I
kind of look.
love
Oh,
the
beautiful,
art. I have to
beautiful.
say the art everywhere I went was amazing. And they had in the city it was so crisp and clear and so sort of cohesive. And then they have dragons in the sky, these kind of Chinese long
Right?
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And no doubt.
So
about
you're
that.
not when the expansion comes out, assuming later this year, will you play it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, you guys! I have to tell you about something. And
Oh, I
maybe
like it.
Maybe you guys talked about it already. So there's this thing called Scroll of Resurrection. Have you talked about this last week?
We didn't talk about it, but
Okay.
you told me about it the other day.
Okay, so here it goes. So if your World of Warcraft account has lapsed, like mine had, if you have a friend who has not, they can send you a Scroll of Resurrection. And what this does is if you accept it and pay for 30 days, they get this awesome celestial griffin flying mount. And if you accept it, you get to level a character to 80 for free instantly. So you could go in, start a level 1 character, reactivate your account, and
wanted
you
to
get
push
a
him
level
in
80.
her face.
Was I acting like I'm totally into this?
Transfixed,
No,
man.
but it's
She's like-
amazing.
I'm
You get a
scanning.
character.
Who can I ask for one?
Oh, I can send you one.
I want one.
Yeah. But what's great is that I leveled because no one wants to level a
healer to 80
Right.
for
I
sure.
was a healer.
I started a level 1 healer, and then bam, I logged back in, and it was like, you're level 80. Congratulations! And I was like, I'm an Orgrimmar. I'm level 80. I have like all good gear on. I have like 75 gold in my pocket, and I'm like, woo, let's go.
This is a direct result
Amazing.
of them losing so many subscriptions.
I know.
And it's totally working out in our favor.
Right?
I mean-
I'll sign up. I'm back.
Like
cool.
15 seconds of you going,
I know, I'm so embarrassed.
it was unbelievable.
I hope
like
people
you
get
just
that.
discovered Santa Claus was in fact real and everything else was a lie. Like you're just like, oh, that was great.
I'm almost done with SWOTOR, and so like I need another MMO fix. So
But you guys should do it soon because it does run out. Like it's only for a limited time.
It's
Have
a
they
limited
announced
time
this?
offer.
Have they announced this?
Yeah.
They have.
They have, yeah.
I already got it. I got it from a friend who wasn't in the industry, and he's like, "Your account is lapsed," and you could see him like get all excited because
Yeah.
he's thinking about the griffin that he gets.
Mine lapsed like 5 years ago. I wonder if it would still...
I just really want a
Still
dragon.
time, my friend.
I can still
There's
bring
still time.
my
There's
old
still
characters
time.
back.
And you get a free upgrade to Lich King or Cataclysm, I forget, but I had it already, so it wasn't as exciting. Or you also get like a free realm transfer. You get lots of free good stuff. You
I think
guys.
this is going to bring people back. Maybe just for 30 days, but it will bring people
It's
back
gonna
into
bring
the
me back.
fold. And it sounds like there's enough kind of new stuff going on
Yeah.
to potentially keep people playing the game.
I will
which is
pay
pretty exciting.
$15 to have a character level to 80 by itself. And
Yeah.
you log on and it's like ding 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 ding. It's all these messages are like popping up. You're like, yay, yay, yay.
Validation. Thank you.
I did it.
I did it! Yay!
I'm level 80.
Me! I made it!
And then
Boy,
I go
that's
outside
kind
into
of
the
a
real
drag
world
for the
and all of
people.
that validation is removed from me
Kind of a
immediately.
drag
you
for the
have
people that
outside.
legitimately
You
leveled,
have
though,
a
yeah?
mount and you have cold weather flying. You have everything. Okay, so
Then you
here's-
got all these noobs running around with level 80 characters.
But I think what it is I wouldn't have I would not have leveled a character from 1 to 80 anyway, so they're not really giving me, I wouldn't have leveled
Yes.
a priest.
Yes.
So now I have another character, and now I'm going to kind of play, I think, more endgame.
Having a level 80 priest, that's pretty huge. I mean, just
Sweet.
because who plays a priest for 80 levels?
Right,
Right.
nobody,
You
because
know.
it sucks.
Yes, it does. I played one for
Awkward.
about 30 levels, and I was like, you know what?
This isn't going to work for me. Nicole's like,
I know,
"That's
Nicole's like,
me.
I love playing
I am a
priest."
healer.
So-
I
I'm a
loved every
priest.
I
part
like
of
to
it.
help
And
others.
a Sith
I don't-
sorcerer.
I love
so-
dying often between levels 1 through 50. I love being killed every time I tried to solo anything ever.
I love having people love me.
I love having
Oh,
other
that's
people
true.
expect things from me.
Okay, but I
That's
was
the thing
looking
with
at
being a
my
priest.
talent bar. I'm like, I have like one offensive spell. How did you do it? Like, I literally have, it's like healing, 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 healing. I'm like, cool. I'm like,
Looking for group. Looking for group. Looking for group.
I can't wait till we
And
get
the
massacred
healer.
in the comments section, like all these people that have these amazing warrior priests that somehow we just couldn't figure out how to
Maybe
roll
you
correctly.
just suck.
Yeah.
Maybe you should learn to play.
Yeah, I
Well,
bet
you
your
get-
mom's ugly as too, stupid face. That's basically.
there's like a shadow spec though, so I think there is like an offensive spec on the priest. So maybe that's how you level, or did you?
It's
what,
true.
What spec were you?
When I
Oh,
was
I
a
don't
priest, and
remember.
this was a long time ago, I was
Yeah.
shadow spec, and I liked it, but people would get so mad at me in PvP
I
because
bet.
I wouldn't help anybody.
Right.
I was offensive. I was like, I'm
you
not
were
healing
at DPS and
Exactly.
you were at healing.
at everything. That's the great thing about a priest.
well, I
They're
hate
not having sex with little. What? That's a. What?
That's-
What happened?
What
I don't know. Stop it. It's my Can't keep
Blair.
my childhood.
Change the subject. So, ZeniMax.
Yeah,
Yes.
ZeniMax.
Is rumored-
MMOs.
They are rumored to be announcing this May the Elder Scrolls Online. In theory, it would take place a millennium before Skyrim. That would mean the second era. We don't really know anything about it because it's not announced, but the rumors are that there'll be 3 factions, one represented by a lion, one represented by a dragon, and one represented by a bird of prey.
Totally going to be the dragon.
Yeah, why would I be anything
Yeah.
but the dragon?
I want to be an owl. Bird of prey, man. Owls are dangerous
No,
at
I
night.
saw that one movie where they wore armor.
Yeah.
What was that one?
That's probably just you.
No.
In the
Okay,
group.
in the
Yeah.
Slash fic.
Now this rumor does come from a quote industry source.
Yeah.
that's where
In quote.
everyone's rumors come from.
Scare
So
quote.
I'm sure.
I'm an industry source.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean.
probably part of the 99% of
I
the
don't like
engineering
it.
department that's pissed off to have to work on other ZeniMax games that they don't care about that's starting this rumor. But what do you think?
I don't like it. If it
No?
turns out to be true, I don't like it.
Why not?
I don't because
Why? You are a curmudgeon.
I know
It's
I'm
usually
curmudgeonly.
my job.
Look, I have very strong opinions about this.
All right, lay it down, my friend.
Here we go.
You need some
here.
more
Because
news, man.
The awesome thing about the Elder Scrolls games is that you're the Dragonborn, you're the hero, and the whole world and the whole history
But you're
revolves
not in the
around
first four.
your wonderful deeds. No, but you're still the hero, the chosen
Sure.
one. And in an MMO, you're just some other dude.
I don't
Who
know.
wants to be just some
in
other
SWTOR,
dude? Good
argument.
I felt like I was the chosen one. Like SWTOR was so much about story that I didn't feel like I was just some dude. I was a girl, first of all.
Right.
But second of all, I was like the chosen Twi'lek.
Are you seriously like you'd be playing Elder Scrolls and be like, "Oh, I chop wood to make gold," and then spend like your life chopping wood? I don't
No,
like
but
it.
you did that in the games. I was like, I'm gonna be a blacksmith, and I'm gonna sit at the forge, and I'm gonna go like you do that in all the games.
I just hit people in the face. I didn't
Yeah,
really.
I basically just leveled up
Missed the
fire in
house.
this hand and healing in this hand and didn't do anything
know.
else. And then I walked
Yeah.
into fights and went, heal,
Fire, heal, fire,
Oh,
heal,
see,
fire.
I
died. And it
Heal
wasn't
spark.
me that died.
Okay, but my problem with that is I killed so many people by accident where I was like, oh, my bad. Did you walked into my fireball and you died. I'm sorry, but then the game gets mad.
Yeah, but the problem is that we live in a world where dragons have risen again to try and kill us, so there's going to be some collateral damage.
It happens.
That's the way
That's
it
true.
goes.
It happens.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Can't kill a dragon without murdering a village full of people because you got pissed off that you couldn't get inside the inn until daytime, and then you don't want to have to wait.
and that's where
Everybody's
the
got to
bed
die.
is,
Yeah.
and it's just like Jesus.
It's pain. But
I
so
think it's legit. I'm gonna say it.
All
I
right.
think it's legit, and I think I'm gonna spend an embarrassing amount of time playing it.
I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, let's
right.
make a guild.
Hell yeah.
now, do you think that there's also they did also recently win the rights to the Fallout MMO? So. Are they even in a position to try to make both of those MMOs?
They should do
One
the
at a
Fallout
time.
one first, so then that one, they can make all their mistakes on it. It can suck, because I'm not going to play it anyway. And then they can do the good one, which is going to be the Elder Scrolls one.
See, I'm going to play the Fallout MMO if there
Oh,
was
It's
one.
so ugly.
'Cause
It's
you
the
can-
ugliest
Why would you want to
game.
spend your life in that game? Isn't the world depressing enough already?
I love entertainment that depresses me. So,
He does.
You are the problem with the world.
Right?
hence the Quaaludes.
It's a reoccurring theme. It's a really weird theme of this episode.
Yeah. I feel like
Sorry.
Steve writes like Fox News / fiction, like just the weirdest stuff. Most people that's going to go over their head, but the few people that do
Right.
indeed know what Quaaludes are will appreciate that joke.
In the post for this tomorrow, I'll make sure to have like a Wikipedia style article about
Yes.
what Quaaludes are and where you can find them.
Yeah, I love that. That's been part of the
1973.
through line
Back in
of
the
this entire
70s.
episode. But I like the Fallout MMO because I like the fact, and you know, it's all spoilers aside, that at the end of Fallout was Fallout 3, yeah, that you're like, oh, I can find a way to repopulate the world with grass and things like that, and I like the idea of maybe having different regions of players play, like the people in America play in a certain region of this big world. And maybe we have to work together to try to fix this entire region while other
Kind of
things
like a
are going.
flower vibe to it.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're
which
trying
might be
to-
kind of cool, you know. And I know we kind of speculated about that on one of the episodes of Feedback, but I think that there's an opportunity, at least in Fallout, to have this entire devastated planet and then have different regions of actual players work together to fix. That there could be more of a cooperative element to it.
If
than
Elder
Fallout.
God, and then people are going to come in and try to destroy all the
Yeah,
hard work that
exactly.
I've done. And I
But
will
there
be
you
like,
go.
I'm
I
done
will
with
cry.
this game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He
I
will
will cry.
sail all of his ships
Well,
across the sea.
If I may, French Crosshair or Corsair asks, if the rumors of the Bethesda developing an Elder Scrolls MMO are true, will they be able to retain their first-person combat system, or will they have to resort to using the archaic model that has been used by MMOs since World of Warcraft, the cartoony third-person angle?
But you can also play it third person. You can play Elder Scrolls
In-
third person or in.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can. So
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to have that option. I mean, even in SWTOR, you can just zoom in, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's first
Yeah.
person.
You have the option on everyone.
So I don't think that's going to be a problem. Although I never play in third person, so I hope that first person's an option.
But he's talking
Yeah, I'm
more
sure it
about
will
like
be.
the combat system itself, like as opposed to clicking the guy and picking the thing that you want to do to them, like most MMOs
Like
are.
in
that
real time?
that more
Real-time
real
combat?
time
I mean,
feel.
SWTOR addressed that to an extent. I mean, it felt a lot more engaging. The combat in SWTOR felt a lot more engaging than the combat in World of Warcraft.
But it was the same exact
Yeah.
combat, really.
I guess
they just
I-
had better animations.
I don't really
I
consider it
had
to be
a
archaic, though.
lightsaber,
I feel like it
Morgan.
works, for what it
I
is.
had a
you know?
Right.
lightsaber and I never used it.
I
It was
never-
so weird.
I was
'cause
a
in-
sorcerer,
Oh,
so-
yeah, exactly.
See, I was a Sith Marauder dual wielding, and I've given up on the game. I am a Sith Marauder and dual wielding, and I felt like it was a lot more
Sith
combat.
Marauder player.
Yes.
You are.
When are they going to start doing those commercials? And who's going to be Chuck Norris? When are they going to start doing the celebrity SWTOR commercials?
I give it 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wait
Who's
for
the
an
first-
expansion.
Who's the first celebrity?
It's got to be like a Steven Seagal.
Steven
Yeah.
Seagal.
That's a good one.
Shooting for the
Right
stars,
on.
man.
Yeah.
Seagal.
Shooting for the
Go
stars.
big or go home.
I
Or
want
you could be like Carrie Fisher or something like
Ooh.
that.
Oh,
I
that's
want
good.
I want like a Richard Grieco or something. Like just so completely
yeah,
out of the box.
Richard Grieco.
Like I'd
one
love
will
for
know
somebody
who
to
that is.
start their career uphill in a SWTOR commercial. Like
Right
a testimonial, you know? That's just me though.
Or maybe whichever of the Coreys is alive. I forget which one.
Rest in
Too soon?
peace. Rest
I
in
feel
peace,
like
Haim.
people.
Okay, that's
Haim is
Feldman.
alive or dead?
Haim is dead.
Haim is dead.
So
Feldman's
Feldman.
alive.
Feldman is still
He'd
alive.
be great for
He was the
SWTOR.
worst Corey, too.
He was. But he does have to, and this is not me making a joke or going really dark here, but he does have to live with the fact that he was raped by Michael Jackson.
Oh.
So I think Haim probably got the better end of the deal as far as the two Coreys are concerned.
This is a very dark feedback.
Yeah, it is. But you know what, kids? That's the way the world works.
Yeah,
and you just got
kids.
to deal with it.
It's all pain.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But I think that'd be kind of funny to have don't you think? To have Richard Grieco or Corey Feldman do it?
Yeah.
No, just
No,
me?
I agree.
All right,
I
fine.
agree.
We have time for one more fan feedback question. And
Yeah.
that fan feedback is from Game Design on My Mind. This weekend I played Journey on my first playthrough. I completed the game with one companion the whole way through, and it was the best date I've ever been on. I see real potential
nice.
for date game
No,
as a genre.
it's
Would you
not
play a
nice.
date game with your friend or potential lover?
The reason it's not nice is because you don't talk to the other person when you're
Best
playing
date.
Journey. You just kind of walk together. You can't even communicate.
It's like going to
You
see
just
a
going,
movie.
You just sit and going bling 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 bling.
You
bling.
communicate in the realm of the spirit, man.
He's not.
Your
now he's on
quaaludes
peyote.
are on. Yeah.
They're kicking in. I played it last night. I was playing Journey all night, and I thought
All
for-
night, meaning the hour and 10 minutes it took you to complete
Well,
the game?
yeah, but then I played it again because I mean, look,
You
it's
did not play
Because you were able to
twice.
download it, and so you played
yeah,
it
I was
twice?
the one who was able to download
Nice.
it, and I was playing it last night, and Jake Gaskill, my coworker, pointed out that he was playing it last night too, and then I
And you
realized
guys had a date?
that the person I was on a date with could have been Jake Gaskill.
But you never know.
And now I don't know.
You never know. And then the game ends and you never have any idea who that person was, which I have to say as a, dedicated single player gamer, I appreciate that. 'cause- and my friend actually did help me. He kept jumping in one area and I was like, oh, maybe there's like a special little thing over there, So my friend helped me.
But
I liked my friend.
Is the date game a genre? I'll say this. You know how you can watch movies on Xbox Live? Okay, so when my wife and I first started dating, she lived in San Francisco, I lived in LA, and we used to meet up in Xbox Live. Our avatars would sit in the little movie theater together, and we couldn't actually talk to each other, but you could high five each other and do stuff like that. And we used to have little date movie nights. So I know this is a positive thing coming out of my mouth. There's no rape at the end of this particular story.
You still had to bring it up.
Literally, it was just a fun thing. And I was like, you know what? I think there is kind of a market for this because I'm not the type of person that's usually into that sort of thing. And I was like, it's kind of fun to be sitting there virtually with somebody else and do this thing together.
I remember when they showed that at the press conference, I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. No one is ever going to use it. And then, of course, you were like, I had a date last
You
night.
should
And
try
I
to
was
watch.
like,
You should
"Oh."
try to stream Wall Street
And
with
that's-
your girlfriend. It's super fun.
That's how I knew we had lost you.
Weird choice.
That's good.
Weird choice.
But you like this Blair better than the Blair that started working here.
I like both Blairs.
That is so
I was
not
friends
true.
with that Blair.
You were
I was friends with-
judgmental with that Blair.
I was not.
Wow,
Did
the
I? Was
truth
I
comes
ever
out.
judgmental?
Drama.
I was never judgmental.
Mom and Dad, please
Yeah,
stop
you.
fighting.
Yeah, I think you were. I
Was
made some
not.
bad decisions.
You were judging yourself, and you put that on me.
I'm sorry. You're right. It was a reflection of the things that I hated about myself.
Exactly.
Wow.
Wow, we've all really learned a little something about ourselves today.
I feel like I'm a butterfly right now. I just got out of my cocoon. I'm flying around this room.
So beautiful.
But don't you think this could work? I think
mean,
it'd be kind of cool to do.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why co-op games are so popular. And whenever co-ops announce for a game, people get really excited because anytime you can cooperatively play with someone, it's a good experience. Whether it's your friend or your significant other, I think it's great, and I'd love to see more games. More games involve co-op in different ways.
Right, because I feel like
agree.
co-op now is like you play co-op with somebody too, so you can. It's
marches
easier to
to your
kill
dome,
somebody or
yeah.
to
Right.
move this box so that this person can climb up. But if they start designing with the idea of having two people experience an emotion together. Do you think that people would pay for that? Do you think people would be
I
into
think
that
people
sort of thing?
Journey,
absolutely
man.
would.
That's the whole thing with Journey. I mean, it's the whole point of the game is it just brings you these weird emotional set pieces that you're supposed to enjoy, usually with somebody else who you can't communicate with in any meaningful way beyond, hey, we're running around and we're both beautiful ethereal spirits, man.
So is it always two people
I don't
in
know
the
if
game?
I
I
would-
playing it?
you know,
Has
I
three
gotta tell
people?
you, I was really angry that I couldn't punch anybody. Like I couldn't.
Because you
What
don't
kind
have
of
any
guns do you
I
arms.
don't have any arms. I just wanted to punch something, but you can't. So all you can do is sing. You hit a button and you go, oh, bro.
Oh
Man.
my God, really? That's what you do? You sing?
No,
and
it's
you
like you're not really
jump and you
Is there
singing.
any
So-
combat whatsoever?
No,
No, you have no arms.
you couldn't fight, even if you wanted to. And I know you're a very violent
So
person.
it's like you hit the button and it kind of goes like bling, bling, bling. And so you kind of like chat to each other that way. You go bling, bling, bling as you're like running along.
Bling, bling,
And if
then you
you
jump
like
in the
had
air
a
and
scary
I
thing,
don't
you'd
see
be
how
like
this
bling,
is a
bling,
good
bling, bling,
date.
bling.
I'm getting a
well,
lot of...
it's a
there's
good
no-
date because no one can talk.
Also, if this guy saw who was on the other end of his thing, he'd probably be a little surprised. He's imagining
It
this
was
like
me.
Maybe it was you.
it might have been me. It might have been me.
I'm getting a mixed
Design on my
message about
mind.
your experience. So,
Yes.
if you could make a Steven Johnson date game,
Oh, no.
what would it be?
Well,
What's in this game?
first there would have to be some ether and some duct tape because
Okay.
that's every.
You know what, you guys?
No,
you know-
that's not a funny joke, and I apologize.
I'll be honest with you guys. Looking at it from the outside in, yeah, the things I'd say do kind of suck.
I don't know what ether
Now
is.
that I've just...
It's like an Ethernet? That's what I think of.
I don't want to take this one.
Ether
Well,
is
Nicole.
a chemical that used to be used back in the day for if you were having surgery, for example, before anesthetic. You put ether on like a cloth, and then it would kind of make the person pass out.
Chloroform.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Used during kidnappings as well.
Also used during kidnappings. She's up to speed now. Everybody is up to speed.
All right.
We don't need to finish this, Steve. We don't need to say the end result of these things.
I'm a married man.
On that note, man, what a weird show we had today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I feel like we
everybody.
learned a lot
it
about
was
each
me.
other, though.
It was me.
No,
I blame myself.
I
and
blame you
We
too.
blame you too.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I was going to blame me, but I'll blame Steve as well. That's
Sweet.
totally okay.
That's why we have him here.
So in conclusion, we're kind of mad at EA. We're all going to play Mr. Pandaria.
Pandaria. Just, throwing it out there.
And the pandas are cute.
I like them.
All right. And Steve
Yeah.
Johnson's date game is something that should never be made. Is that pretty
Exactly.
much the...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, that sums it up.
I like it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it, as always. And we appreciate you guys watching every single week. New episodes every Wednesday at g4tv.com/feedback.
Bitches.